Okay, welcome to the channel, and I'm really pleased to welcome a good friend of mine, David Heyman. David, hi, thanks for joining me today for a chat.
My pleasure, Paul, as ever.
For those that don't know, David is the founder of a business called Channeljet and offers private aviation services for individuals, and we can talk about that part of your life and that kind of business.
I mean, I've had the most glamorous job over the last few years, apart from the last 2 years since my health issues.
We'll come on to that.
Which we'll come on to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But, I've been running a private jet business and flying the jet. So I run the business, I own the business, and I've been flying them to exotic places all over the world, meeting amazing people, fascinating people, going to rock concerts and being in the hub of those big bands.
I remember being with you backstage with Bruce Dickinson
with Iron Maiden.
I mean, that was not my kind of music thing, but everything in life you've got to experience, and
you don't have any music, then. But which is fair comment, isn't it?
Yeah. It's kind of like, I'm kind of simple as a person, but music is like, I don't really know much about music.
No, I mean, so what I'm saying is I have had the most amazing experience over the last few years of being able to fly jets, which was something that had always been an ambition of mine anyway. I got to achieve that.
Yeah. So were you a fighter pilot? Did you make it?
No, I didn't actually. No, I got binned.
Binned? Why? If you want to talk.
Well, I won't go into too much detail of it, but let's just say that beer and women weren't a good mix with aeroplanes.
I can imagine.
So I think that probably sums up my RAF career, to be honest.
And then health-wise, I mean, we've both had a tough time probably just before COVID. Your journey, let's talk about where you were, what happened. And I mean, I've got some pictures which we'll share with your permission online, so viewers can actually see the fact you were nearly dying. I mean, I remember I came to see you 3 times in the hospital, and every time I turned up, A, with COVID, they wouldn't let me in. B, you had emergency surgery unexpected. Or C, you were asleep. I didn't want to wake you. And again, I think one time I turned up and my COVID thing was fucking, what's the word? Bloody positive, and I wasn't allowed to go anywhere.
So let's just go back to the start before that happened, which was I'd built a business from scratch and taken 5 years to get it to a level where we were stable and we were cash flow positive.
Yeah.
And a business partner came in and alongside me, wonderful man, said he'd like to get involved with the business.
Yeah.
I told him it wasn't for sale. And he said, if he came alongside me, he'd be able to help me accelerate the business in 1 year that it would take me 10 years, if not the rest of my career, to do.
Agreed.
We struck a deal and he was true to his word. At that time, we had 5 aircraft in the fleet. We then went out and purchased 40 aircraft. 40? 40.
Wow.
40 jets. So it was quite major stuff. Very exciting period. But within 2 months of doing that deal, I got what's called pancreatitis. What
is that?
It's an inflamed pancreas.
Right.
Very painful, hospitalized, and they discovered that I had a large cyst on the pancreas. I came out of hospital and we thought that would the inflammation would disappear and go, but it didn't.
And how many years ago was this?
This was only 2 years ago. So we're now talking 2021.
What month was the guy?
So December 2020 is when I first got the pancreatitis.
Yeah.
But then in June,
7 months later,
I got a very bad pain, went to the hospital. They did an ultrasound scan and the ultrasound guy said, I found a mass here that shouldn't be there. We need to take you for a CT scan immediately.
Yeah.
Guernsey being Guernsey, there's no waiting list. So straight in, got scanned. And they found a cyst the size of a rugby ball. It was 27 centimeters by 19 centimeters by 17 centimeters. And it was weird because you couldn't see it in here, but it had actually taken over my abdomen.
Did you not feel anything different?
No, I didn't.
Nothing.
All I felt was terrible pain.
Wow.
And with that, I ended up in hospital in London, which is where you came to see me. And I started a journey from July of 2021 through till March of last year.
So what's that? So July 21, the whole of 22?
No. So July 21 right through to March. So that was 9, 10, I call it 10 months.
Okay. And then you had
16 operations.
16.
16, yeah.
Wow. 16, one after the other, 16 operations. And what were they doing? What was the...
They were trying to get rid of this very large cyst.
Yeah.
And
did they cut it all out? Or
so they opened me up several times. And I was in intensive care 3 times. I had sepsis 6 times. And I went from a very bulky 16 stone down to less than 10 stone.
Guys, you'll see the pictures. I mean, David was unrecognizable, and it's so great to see him today looking so well, because I know it's been horrendous. I mean, I know for your wife and family, there were a couple of times where it was touch and go, was it not, where they were flown in case you were not going to make it? Is that right?
Yeah, and it got to March, the very last operation I had, and the professor who was looking after me did say that he had to get special permission to do the operation because he had never done such an operation before, and he had to go to his seniors. They'd put me into a much bigger hospital than the hospitals I had been operated in, so they could have a bigger team.
Yeah.
And the operation lasted 9 hours. There was a team of 14 or 16 people, I think he said. Used up 17 pints of blood. He called it a very stormy operation. But he did
17 pints of blood. I didn't even know how much blood a human has.
I think it's only 8. So there was a lot going.
So you didn't even have your own blood?
No. He had a large blood bank there.
Wow. So that's why it's so important to give blood. I know there's a gentleman in my industry, Roger Morris, who does a great job as an ambassador to give blood, because it's so important.
Yeah.
You just don't know how much blood is needed to lose that much.
Yeah. And at the end of that, unfortunately, it was discovered that I had cancer.
Oh my God. So you had all of these operations, so 16, sepsis and lots of other issues. And then
I was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Oh my God. And the survival rates are like less than 8% or something.
Less than that, I think.
Wow.
But it wasn't just pancreatic cancer. Unfortunately, it had spread. And so it was in the duodenum, the stomach, small bowel, and a few other organs. And it was described as stage 4 pancreatic cancer.
Game over, no?
Yeah. And so I went to see the oncologist here in Guernsey. I survived the operation, obviously. I'm here today.
Yeah.
And I was very weak. And the oncologist said that it was likely to be about 3 months to a year, and that they'd put me on what they described as palliative chemotherapy, which wouldn't keep me alive, but it may extend life a bit.
Okay, so you're told, I mean, with my daughter, I went on a journey myself where she was at times critically unwell, and we didn't understand what was going on. And then we went to alternative therapy to find solutions. So where do you get that strength to say, okay, I'm told I've got 3 to 12 months and I'm going to be given this palliative care. Where do you then go to seek solutions to survive and live?
There's nothing heroic about it. What did the guys do at the Battle of Rorke's Drift? You remember that movie Zulu?
Oh, yes.
And they were being marauded by
Zulus.
3,000 or 4,000 Zulus. Where did they find the courage? Well,
they kept going.
They kept going because they were going to die if they didn't. So it's no different to that.
But your mental strength. I mean, I remember buying you David Goggins books and all sorts of stuff, because for me, when I was challenged and I struggled mentally, and our friend, the psycho John, he told me go in the sea and sea swim, because if I didn't, I'd end up being nuts. But for you, you just were so strong. I mean, to find that belief, to keep going.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I think every human being has an inherent survival instinct.
Yeah, but so more than others, David. I mean, to go through 16 operations, I saw you like thin as a rake, and then you're told 3 to 12 months. Where does that, how am I going to beat this come from? Where did that inner strength to say, what do you do next? What happened for you?
Just back against the wall, and you have to stand and fight. And I had 2 young daughters, a beautiful wife who had nursed me as well through that period, a very close set of siblings that had been there all the time, and good friends like yourself that were there. And there was a lot to still live for. And I'd only just done that great deal with the business. Yeah. And I thought, crikey, I've worked so hard all my life to get to this point, and now I'm going to lose everything. So I really wanted to stay alive. I was very lucky in that my business partner, who had bought into the business, had said to me that his mum had stage 2 cancer, and that she got vitamin C infusions and didn't even do chemotherapy.
Wow.
So he suggested I look into that. So I did. And I met a pharmacist here in Guernsey, who I think, Niall. And So Niall was able to give me vitamin C infusions twice a week.
So what sort of dosage? I mean, when did that
I
start?
can't remember what the dosage was because he did it all, but it was a bottle of it that went into a solution, and then you put it.
So neat vitamin C, for want of a better.
Basically, and it takes an hour to go in. Yeah, it's quite expensive, but what expensive? £180 a shot.
Yeah, so 2 shots of vitamin C per week. You started because your business partner, his mother was unwell and did it, and it worked for her.
Yeah.
But did you do other reading?
No.
Research?
Well, yes and no. Right. So then I was introduced then to a beautiful lady here who's a molecular oncologist.
What does that mean in English? Molecular oncologist.
Look, I don't know.
Look it up.
Let's look it up. But it sounds good, doesn't it?
We're looking at the links below to what that means. Okay.
But this lady, Carmen Wheatley, introduced me to a whole bunch of other alternative therapies. So
such as
vitamin B12 injections.
And so you started with vitamin C.
Yeah.
Then you started, how soon from vitamin C do you start doing vitamin B?
Straight away. So concurrently. I then
often daily,
every day, and I still do it every day now, and I might end up doing it every day for the rest of my life because it boosts the immune system, as does the vitamin C. Her idea was that the chemotherapy can be very destructive to the immune system.
Kills the cells.
And whereas your own human immune system can be much stronger, and these things are what boost it. And then a whole bunch of other supplements, just usual stuff like, garlic and cod liver oil. And I'll take 18 different supplements every day.
I'd love to know
which are boosting.
If you can provide us with a list.
I'll provide you with that.
Because there's going to be so many people that will watch and listen to this that will know people that have their own challenges and battles. And I know everyone's different and everyone has to find their own way. But I also believe, through my own experience with our daughter, there are alternative solutions that exist that we don't fully understand.
Well, I did do the chemotherapy as well. So I did 12 sessions of chemo, and then I did 5 sessions of what they call SABR, targeted radiotherapy. So my view was, let's just throw the kitchen sink at it. I have nothing to lose. If I'm going to die, if this does kill me, I'll go down with a fight. Anyway, so that was a year, what are we now, 14, 16 months ago. And I've put on 5 stone in that period.
What weight?
So I was close to 9.5 stone, and I'm over 14 stone now.
Wow.
I also embarked upon a fitness regime. So I get in the gym quite a lot and try and have a very hard workout at least 4 times a week.
And how long do you exercise for?
An hour.
Cross trainer and weights?
Cross trainer for half an hour and weights for half an hour, yeah.
Okay.
And then I walk the dog every day.
Not my dog.
Not your dog, but I'll walk your dog as well. But, I'd like to say to people out there, when you're staring into the abyss, have a look at these options, because I don't know which one of those is the thing or whether it's a combination of the whole lot. But clearly something has worked. And I met up with the oncologist in London just in July. Funny enough, we took him to Iron Maiden. And he met Bruce, and he was a lifelong Iron Maiden fan. But I took him to that, and he looked at me and he said, I am witnessing a miracle. He said, in the years I've been doing this as an oncologist, I've never seen someone with pancreatic cancer stage 4 recover quite like this. So I don't know how long I've got, but I'm optimistic.
So is the cancer gone? I mean,
No, I've just had a recent scan, and it's gone from all the organs except the pancreas.
Okay.
So there's no evidence of disease now in the liver, in the stomach, and so on. But I still have a tumor in the pancreas. And the radiotherapy was only 3-4 months ago, and I'm waiting on another scan to see what impact that will have had. I've got my fingers crossed. He did say there's an outside chance that the mass we're seeing could be scar tissue, because I had so many operations. That could be scar tissue and not a tumor.
And how do they track it? Is it blood tests, or is it?
This next scan is going to be what's called a PET scan.
Right.
And I think they put some sort of radioactive liquid inside you, and where the cancer cells are, lights up. Yeah. So I'll find out next month on the next scan.
Well, David, I mean, it's, I just admire what you've done and how you've done it, because, we both had challenges for different things at different times. And to keep fighting?
Well, I think one of the big things about it, Paul, is that we're like ants on this planet, and we all get focused on our own problems. And having problems is about being alive.
See, I like to use the word challenges because mentally,
Challenges, problems, struggles.
I feel you can overcome challenges.
Yeah, let's call it struggles.
Yeah.
Okay, because struggles.
Everyone has
what can be one person's struggle is another person's
nothing.
Enjoyment.
Yeah.
But we all have these things, and human beings are naturally insecure and all those other things.
Mm.
That's just part of being alive.
Yeah.
So what this has told me, that is, let's categorize the level of struggle that you've got ahead of you. So when we have issues with business or anything, I enjoy now having those problems to deal with.
No, I can relate to
because I can put it into context and say, well, no one's dying.
No, exactly. I mean, with my circumstances recently, you know, if you have some failures and things, it's not life or death. When my daughter was unwell, there were times we didn't know where we were, what was happening, psychotic episodes, etc., and you absolutely do not know. And you are constantly researching, trying to find solutions, talking to people that you wouldn't expect to talk to, and try everything possible to find a solution.
Yeah, that's it. And the other thing is live every day as best as you can. So, you know, there were times where I would spend 7 days a week sitting in front of a screen in an office, looking at manuals, changing compliance procedures, all this sort of stuff. I don't want to waste another day doing any of that. So there are different people that have different skill sets. What I do now much better is delegate and get other people to do the stuff. And I try and focus on the bits I enjoy. One day, maybe I might get my license back and I'll be able to fly airplanes again.
So you know how to fly now?
No, not at the moment. Not with cancer. So we'll wait and see. I'm hopeful.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Why? Because just because you've got cancer doesn't mean it's going to affect your ability to drive.
Well, I thought that, but I'm not the expert. So at the moment, my medical is revoked.
I can remember a client who once told me, just because I murdered my wife doesn't make me a bad driver. And that's the same thing kind of thing where, you know, yes, things can go wrong, but it doesn't impact your driving ability. And with you, having cancer can't affect your flying ability.
Well, I certainly feel fit and healthy.
You look amazing.
I guess what they're worried about is a sudden incapacitation. I don't see why that would happen. The type of cancer I had was a very withering type of cancer. You would know you were getting ill, I think. It's not something where you just keel over like that. But I'm not the expert and I don't make those choices. So I just have to go by what the authorities say.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that, actually. It kind of saddens me that someone who loves flying gets that taken away just because of...
I love flying, but I love living even more.
Life is for living. You've got to find balance. I think for me, you know, you've got to enjoy. I mean, I love what I do. It's fun. It's not like work. You know, you fly people, I help people. And I must give you a present because everyone that comes onto this channel is going to get one of my business cards. If you wipe your ass with it and throw it away, you'll blow your nose. It's £1. But this is the best bit of marketing I've ever done.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll share in all the links below, all of the supplements that David's done, the journey he's been on. Do you want to talk to anyone if they have any challenges? I'd
be very happy. Yeah, if I can give somebody some inspiration or help, I'd be more than happy to do that.
Yes, if we have people that need any help or guidance about their own challenges or relatives that have challenges, then I'm very happy to provide some contact details in the link below, and we can reach out to David. And thank you so much, my friend. So good to see you.
You as well, Paul.
Thank you.
Cheers.